This is a water level monitoring system. This is via PLC. This is tank 1, tank 2, this is the main tank, and this is the reserve tank. So we will use the DC motor to pump water from this tank to this tank with the help of a PLC. Our user interface includes the start button, the stop button, in progress LED. This indicates whether the motor is running or not. If it's off, it is not running. If it is on, the motor is running. Motor that pumps the water from the reserve tank to the main tank. This is the level LEDs. This is 100%, 75% and 50%. This tells whether our main tank, the levels at which our main tank is being filled. If it reaches 50% LED lights up, that means the main tank has reached 50%. 75% has lit up, that means our main tank has reached 75%, as marked on the main tank. You can see here on the sides. This is high limit, 100%, 75% and 50%. This is the high limit switch. This indicates if the water is at its optimum, at its max point. So when it reaches this point, as in this point, the PLC automatically shuts down the motor from pumping more water into the main pump. So and here's the not filling LED. This indicates if this tank here is not being filled. So in other words, the motor is off. This indicates if the motor is off, the motor that pumps water from the reserve tank to the main tank. So, and this silence button will silence the buzzer alarm once the water level hits 100%. 100% is this level here. Once the water level reaches the 100% mark, the buzzer will sound until the user silences it. If the user does not silence the buzzer will go on until the high limit is reached. So the buzzer sounds from 100 to high limit. The user can turn off the buzzer between the 100% level and the high limit level. If he does not wish to do so, the buzzer will run until the water pumping from the reserve tank to the main tank shuts down. I will now give a demonstration of how this will happen. But before that, our main components include a PLC, 5-pin relay, our transistor circuit, which prevents over voltage to the other components such as the PLC, and it includes the user interface and the DC pump. I will press the start button now to initiate the water filling from the reserve tank to the main tank. As you can see, the pump has started. The in progress LED is on, indicating the motor is running and pumping water into the main tank. Now the 50% LED is on, indicating 50% level has been reached. We will wait for the 75% LED to come on. When it reaches 75% mark, it has now reached. Now we will wait for the buzzer has sounded when it reaches 100%. And since we did not silence the buzzer this time, the system automatically shuts down the buzzer and the motor once the high level is reached. We also included an extra measure of simply if we pump out the water to below 75%, it means if I take it from 100 high level limit, 200 and below 75, the system will automatically turn on the DC motor and will start filling up as normal until it reaches high limit. And noted that the user can stop the motor from pumping at any time by pressing the stop button. We are now pumping out the water to below 75. As you can see, it has reached below 75%, and the motor runs up again. We should have showing what happens when the system and the motor is off. What happens with the LEDs? We want the LEDs to go off as the water level is passed, as the water level goes below the limits. First limit was 100%. Since we have passed 100%, as you can see here, 100% has been passed below by pumping with this hand pump into the reserve tank. So we will see if the LED goes off if we pump out the water below 75%, and then for the same for 50%. So here we go. The 75% LED has gone off. It has deactivated due to the water level going below, or just right below 75% mark. Now we will see the same for the 50% LED. It will go off. It still hasn't reached the 50% mark. Now it has gone below the 50% mark, and the 50% LED has deactivated. Fill the tank up again to see if we can turn off the silence button whilst the water has passed the 100% limit and the buzzer sounds. So when you press this button after 100% level has been reached, the buzzer should turn off. The alarm and the buzzer should turn off before it reaches high limit. When it reaches high limit, it will automatically turn off, but we want to see if it turns off while using the silence button. So we will now start the operation again of the motor pumping from the reserve tank to the main tank. In progress LED is on, indicating the motor is on. 50% LED is on, indicating 50% level has been reached. Now the 75% level has been reached. When the level reaches 100, now the buzzer sounds. We will now silence the buzzer. It has silenced and the system is stopped. Now we will drain the from the main tank to the reserve tank using this hand pump. The 100% LED turns off and the motor runs up again to pump from the main tank. And user can stop it at any time using the stop button. So it has reached 100%. So before it has reached the high limit, the user can intervene and stop at any time. The user can also stop between any of the limits, either between 50 or below 50, at 75, at 100, or at any instance of the level that has been filled. So that's it from our group. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.